Well, anyways, Deanna, how are you doing?
Hey, good morning. I'm doing really well. How you doing?
Oh man, listen, we're getting ready to head over to Dubai tonight for
Right?
our workshop. So I'm just pumped up, excited, and grateful. Hold on one sec. I got to do something while we streaming. It's okay though.
No, you good. You good.
That's
Listen,
it.
I love
Why is
this
my
is
screen looking crazy in the back?
no, you good. This is raw. We want people to know this is not edited. This is like what happens for real at
In
9:30. We
real
didn't get
life
on
at
30 minutes ahead
9:30
of
in the
time.
morning.
This
Yes,
is it.
indeed.
This is
Well,
it.
look, I am excited about this topic on today.
Yeah.
This again is our Let's Talk collaboration chat
Yeah.
that we do every first and third
There you
Monday.
go.
So today, as you can see, it says, "What's in it for both of us?" And so we'll be getting into that topic. But before we do, Dan, I'm gonna go ahead and have you to introduce yourself.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be, whatever time you're watching this. Y'all, I'm Deanna Jean, and folks call me your collab queen. And that's because I truly believe that collaboration is stronger than competition. So, my entire business model, my entire life model, everything that I do is centered around bringing amazing, dope people together so that they can collaborate to create amazing, dope things, and I love to do that work. And that's why, of course, I had to hook up with our girl Taurea Avant, the queen of book profiting. So that's me, and that's what I do.
Well, listen, I'm so grateful to have you here, and I get to introduce myself as well.
Let's
So let me
go.
go. You know what I'm saying? So let me go ahead and tell you guys just a little bit about myself while I'm over here multitasking. There it is. Boom. So Taria Vision Avant. And for now 10 years, all praise be to God, I've been working with speakers and coaches who want to learn how to leverage this amazing marketing tool called a book to build your business. So to get on more stages, to get on more media, to leverage your book so that you can build multiple streams of income. And with that, and I'm so grateful about this conversation of collaboration because with that, I've done so many different projects, specifically a ton of collaboration projects. In fact, Deanna was a part of one of our collaboration books that we took to Ghana. And so excited to be here and excited to talk about this topic of what's in it for the both of us, right?
Woo.
And so, woo, I know, right? So we just gonna get straight into it, Deanna. Is it
Let's
okay?
go.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask the first question that we have here. And so the first question is, what does a mutual win look like in a partnership, and why do so many people settle for less? I'm gonna let you go ahead
Mm.
and take it away.
Yeah, so this is a tricky one, Taria, because it's a tricky one because a lot of times that you have to really come to agreement on terms, right? Mutual value. So, mutually valuable collaborations are collaborations where you are getting something that's valuable to you, I'm getting something that's valuable to me. And when we come together, we are both enhancing the value that we bring together. This becomes difficult for a couple of reasons. One reason is if you yourself are not clear on what value you bring to the table. If you're not really, really super clear on the value that you bring to the table, your value proposition, if you are not able to communicate what you do in 60 seconds or less to someone, it makes it difficult for you to then be positioned as a good and valuable collaboration partner. The second reason that it goes left sometimes is because you're not clear on the value that the other person is bringing to the table. So maybe you've looked at it from the perspective of what's in it for you, but you haven't looked at it as far as what you can actually give to that other person. So it's really important when we're looking at collaborations to establish from the very beginning, what does value look like for each of us? Not just from the perspective of what can we get, but also what can we give. And, at the end of the day, it really is about clarity. It really is about clarity. Taria, what do you think? Because I know you see this all the time, right? I mean, either with, the clients that you lead in the Book Profits Club, or just when people approach you. And I know a lot of times your clients are looking at you as a sounding board to say, hey, Taria, this person approached me about this thing. Is it a good idea? Is it not? So how do you see this whole conversation around mutual value?
Absolutely. And you're right because, and this is something, I've been preaching for years that listen, collaboration is the best way for us to grow our business. However, one of the biggest challenges is that a lot of times we go into a thing with the expectation that somebody, just because we say, or just because we believe that this is what, I feel like our partnership can bring, we assume that the other person understands that as well. And so I always like to use specific examples
Of
when it
course.
comes to the mutual win situation. And so let's just say, for example, as I'm in the space of creating a culture of helping coaches, I'm always searching for people that can bring additional value to our coaches. Now I'm gonna tell you why. It's a bit for me to bring additional value because it helps with retention, right? And so, when you're creating these monthly memberships, which Deanna, that's another conversation we got to talk about down the line because I thought about it the other day. When you create a monthly membership, y'all, I just want y'all to understand while, yes, it's residual income, it's not like, okay, let me just sign them up, let them go,
No,
and
we ain't
goodbye.
said it, forget it. No.
Yeah, setting it is
Memberships
not
are work.
it's a work, right?
Yes.
But one thing that I'm constantly always thinking is what we bring so that we can
Right.
help our clients continue to grow. And so I actually reached out to one of your amazing people. I won't say her name, but
Okay.
she is incredible. And we're having her to come on to help with bringing some virtual assistants
There
because
you
I'm
go.
always telling them, hey, you guys need a VA. You need a
Right.
VA. You need a VA.
Yeah.
But the biggest challenge that many people have is they don't really know how to hire the VA and or teach the VA how to do
Yeah.
the work.
Yeah.
And so in that partnership, yes, she can bring us VAs, but because I already know that she understands mutual benefit, because yes, we're going to be bringing her value, bringing her income, bringing her money, it still brings me value because now I'm creating a retention tool for my clients. But immediately, because this is your people, Deanna, she's like, well, what else can I do to help you?
And that's
How else
always the
can I
question.
serve you?
That's a really, really good, a really, really good example
Mhm.
because that's what it is. That's what we do in the Success Tribe Network is we teach people how to network for the purposes of collaboration.
Yeah.
So that means that when you come to me and you're bringing me a collaboration or an opportunity, immediately my mind then goes to, well, how can I serve you?
Mhm.
Because we understand that know, like, and trust piece is important, but most importantly, being able to make sure that there's a give and take, because when we talk about mutual value, remember, you don't
Yes.
just want a one-time thing. These are relationships
That you
that you
build.
want to build over the
Absolutely.
lifetime of your business
Yep.
that makes it easier for you to do better business together. So I love that. And I'm so
I
excited that
I'm
that's
very
a new
excited.
collaboration coming up.
Yeah, definitely. And I just want to tell you guys that mutual benefits does not always mean money for money. And so that's just a perfect example. She's helping with the retention. I am going to be helping her with a little increase of bottom line, but at the same time, we're still also thinking far beyond just this one-time partnership. Oh,
Exactly, and it goes even further, right? Like, yes,
mhm.
at the end of the day, bottom line, but understanding that exchange of money won't always happen at the same time. It's not I give you a dollar, you give me a dollar. Maybe I give you a dollar today, and maybe 6 months down the road you give me 10. And
Absolutely.
then
Oh,
the way that me and Taurea look at it is,
yeah,
all right, I gave you 5, but then you're going to come to my community next year and you're going to give 3 people in my community 10 each. That's way more
absolutely.
valuable to me and to me and Taurea than us just saying here, all right, well, I gave you 5, you give me 5. All right, cool. I gave you 10. You gave me 10. Wait, let me give you change.
That
That's
is
not
not
how
what
it
that's not what we talk
works.
about. Absolutely.
That's not
And
how it works.
unfortunately, because we do live in a world of is it capitalism? Because we live in a world of, okay, this is what I'm giving you in exchange for $10. We're always thinking that it has to be like, okay, back tick for tat, back to back. That's not how collaboration works, guys.
It's
It doesn't.
not. And that actually, this is a really good segue into our next question,
Yes.
Taurea.
Okay.
Because I think it really is like that volley, right? Finding your rhythm together.
Yeah,
But one of the biggest things about collaboration is that there has to be clear communication across the board. And one
absolutely.
of the things that I notice often is that people will avoid asking what's in it for both of us. Like, and I feel like I'm not sure where that fear comes from, right? So from your experience, Why do you think people avoid at the beginning of a collaboration saying, hey, like, let's talk about what's in this for both of us?
I done messed up the question, but that's okay. We're gonna throw it right here. What's in it for both of us? And
Yeah.
so when we talk about what's in, I think it's because nobody likes to feel let down. Nobody likes to be told
Mm.
no. With you even being in a space of sales, you already know,
Oh,
like
yeah.
people are afraid to ask for the sale because we don't want to be rejected.
Yeah.
Can I even just add this in? This may sound crazy, but depending upon the household that you were brought in, a lot of times even
Mm.
rejection connected with pain. So if you remember as a kid, if you kept asking mama for the cookie on top of the
Yeah.
refrigerator, eventually mom would might say, if you ask me one more time,
Yeah.
you're
We're
gonna
gonna have a
you're
problem.
gonna get slapped. You're gonna have a problem, right?
We're gonna
and
regret
so
it.
and so now as a kid, we connect no to
Mm.
pain. And then when you grow up, and I don't know how many households, I don't know, Deanna, did you, or even if you started crying because somebody told you no, and then you were told, if you keep crying, I'm gonna give you something to
I'm
do
gonna give you
what?
something to cry for.
So now we have this connection of pain when it comes to rejection. And then as this now this is, counseling. We're not
Right.
therapists, you and I, but a lot
Mm-mm.
of times when people grow into now adulthood and they're now told that you've got to be able to ask somebody, hey, let's partner up. And if I'm rejected, I connect it to pain. And I think that
Mm.
a lot of the reasons why many people don't ask, so how can we make sure that this is mutually beneficial for us both? What's in it for us, each one of us? I think
Mhm.
it's because we don't want to be let down and we don't want to feel the rejection. What do you think about that?
This is a really, really great topic. And I agree with that, the rejection part. And I think that that goes back to our previous point, right? So let's use the example of the cookie with the mom, right?
Mhm.
If you go to your mother, you're saying, hey, can I have a cookie? Have you communicated what's in it for her? Right?
Mhm.
Have you communicated to say, "Hey, ma, I know you might not necessarily want to cook, right away, but I'm hungry, right? And I don't want to keep bothering you because I'm hungry. So can I have a cookie now?" I'm much more likely, right, to then be in a position to say, you know what, go ahead and take the cookie. I think about myself with my own kids. Yesterday, my youngest son was like, "Hey, ma, you got $10?" I'm like, $10? He's like, because no, I know you rested and you tired and I'm hungry and I figure you didn't want to cook. And I'm like, you are absolutely right. And I'm gonna give you $20. So go get yourself something, your sister something, your brother something, because he presented it from the perspective of mutual value.
Yeah.
So when we are not coming from a place of mutual value, it does feel very difficult to say, well, I know what's in it for you, right? Because I know what I'm gonna give you. Let's talk about what's in it
What's
for
in it for
both of
me?
us
Yeah.
together, right?
Mhm.
I think that that's really important.
And it's funny too, Deanna, because every single time we've had these kind of conversations where we'll reevaluate even our
That's right.
collaboration to make
Absolutely.
sure that it's beneficial. And it's something that you actually said in one of our previous collab chats, because we talked about that it takes time though, and so
Mm,
you have to have that comfort level. And so if you feel, and I'm big on this, if you don't feel comfortable coming to your
yeah.
partner, because we are partners, saying I don't feel like I'm getting the same benefit,
Yeah.
then maybe this should not be someone that you should be partnered with. Like you
Yes.
should feel comfortable being able to have that uncomfortable conversation.
Conversation. It's just like a relationship, right?
Yeah.
Like an actual relationship, whether it be a romantic relationship, a family relationship. We all have these relationships that we know about where we avoid people because we're afraid of the backlash, right?
Mhm.
Or where a lot of times we know that when that person call us, we'll reject that call because we know that they're gonna take, and they're not gonna think about how we are affected by that taking, right? So if you think about it from that perspective, think about the best relationships that you have in your life.
Yeah.
And you'll likely see that those are relationships where, first of all, communication is clear and safe. And that doesn't mean that communication is always going to make you feel warm and fuzzy. Taria and I have had difficult conversations, but you have to, because in order to create something great, you really and truly have to have transparent conversations that allow you to understand and evaluate where things need to shift and where they need to adjust. So this conversation of what's in it for both of us, Critically important, because if you don't feel like you are going to get value from the situation, whether it be short term, long term, midterm, then you're not going to be able to show up as your best self in the collaboration.
Absolutely. All right. So let's go to our next question.
Yeah.
What are some red flags that
Mm.
that you're in a one-sided deal, even if it looks woo, like a great or good opportunity? What are some red flags that you
Woo!
have for you?
Red flags. All right, here we go. I always say behavior patterns, inconsistent behavior patterns. So if you are seeing, let's say somebody, you want to collaborate with someone and you see online that this person is a quote unquote influencer, that means that they have a whole bunch of followers and they have a whole bunch of people that are consistently commenting on their post, right? And then now you get into a one-on-one conversation with that person and you start talking about mutual value, and the numbers or the behaviors or the support that they're communicating that they would or would not get in the collaboration doesn't align with the image that they're putting out there. If you're saying, hey, yeah, you know what, we're gonna swap email lists, right? And I think I could get about 20 people in. How many people you think you can get in? They're like, well, it depends, because my people don't always respond to, and my people like to talk, but no, inconsistent behavior. That's inconsistent behavior, right? What you showing me is one thing. What I am observing under further observation is something different. So I will stop at that one, because I want to hear from you, because I know you've seen a bunch of red flags, fuchsia flags, crimson, like all the things. But
Anything
what
that's
are the
close
things
to
you
a
see?
red. Well, it's so funny that you said that, because that's absolutely one of the red flags that I've definitely dealt with, because you have a lot of people who are posting what they think you should be. Now,
Mhm.
I will say another red flag that I would say is very important is, well, you said a lot of them, the inconsistencies, the not really showing up. But I will say this. I did an event with someone one time before,
Mhm.
and it was supposed to be us doing things together. Now, the biggest challenge was that what we did not do, and this is why it's so important up front to set expectations clear up front. This person and we didn't really set the expectations, as well as, like, just what each person should be doing. And of course, your girl ended up doing all the work, the marketing. I did all of the setting up. I did all of the, oh my goodness. It just felt like I was the one doing the whole thing, and they just had a chance to show up. And
Mhm.
unfortunately, that was not the case. They were not a guest speaker, they were a partner. And so,
Right.
in that, when I noticed up front, Deanna, when I noticed that when we started putting together an event and I felt like I was doing all of the work, then we should have had a conversation and say, hey, I'm noticing I might be doing a little more. And guys, there's ways that you properly go up to a person. I had to actually read a book called How to Winning Without Intimidation, because I would be straight
Mhm.
blunt. And so I had to learn how to properly go up, because just because you did not, like, just because you're expecting them to pull the weight like you, if you guys did not have the conversation up front is in regards to like what you're expecting from each other, they may think that all I gotta do is show up.
Right.
And that
Right.
is not what you're thinking. And so for me, that was like a red flag. But when I had the conversation with them, this is when the red flag really kicked in.
Mm.
They were like, well, what's the problem? Ah, cancel the event.
I was about,
Man down.
I was about to say thank you. First of all, thank you for showing me before we got too much further down the road. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes. And that allowed me to save a lot of time, a lot of money. And so, guys, we got to pay attention to those red flags. And now there's a reason why we have this large conversation centered around red flags, whether it be in relationships, which, by the way, a
Mm.
collaboration is a relationship.
It is.
Whether it be, well, honestly, that's when you see the red flags in all types of relationships,
Yeah.
romantic, personal, friendships, guys.
Right.
And don't be afraid when you see them, especially if this is something that you care about, to have the conversation.
Have the
I feel like
conversation.
when, when it all breaks down to like the whole synopsis of this conversation is all about conversations. Like,
It is about conversations. And you know what? I'm gonna throw one more in there for a red flag, right?
uh-huh.
And this can be kind of advanced, so you got to be very, very careful. If in your conversations, whether it be the conversations leading up, the conversations during, whatever the case is, all the collaborator is presenting to you is um daisies, butterfly. Like they're not talking about any gaps, right? Like
Uh-huh.
when you're like, hey, like what is the area in your business that you can improve? They're like, girl, everything is great. I got
I'm
million
perfect.
followers. I'm just here, right? I'm here because you called me and I want to help you. That's a red flag. That's a red
Oh,
flag.
yes.
If they can't be transparent about the challenges that they are having. Like Taria and I talk a lot, and again, this is what's important. It's not a pity party. It is not degrading or downgrading your business or the people that are in your business. But as a leader, you have to be very, very conscious of the areas that are blind spots for you and the areas where you are not as strong, because that really ends up being your secret sauce for collaboration. Those are the things that you want to solve for. So a red flag is if you're talking to somebody and you're like, all right, well, tell me the things that are a challenge, and they can't come up with nothing. That's a
Mm.
problem. That's a red flag for me.
I love that you said that. I love that you said that because we are living in this space where it's like, and it, I will say this, and again, this all boils down to just even the relationships. A lot
Mm.
of times, I think people don't want to come off as though there's some gaps within their business. They want you to think that
We get
everything
it.
is perfect.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you something, none of us. I don't care what level of success, whatever that looks like to you
Right.
that you obtain, there's always going to be new levels. They say new levels, new devils. Okay. So there's always new levels, but new gaps. And
Mm.
so none of us are at a space where it is perfect. Okay. It is
Mm.
perfect. And so it is okay. And nobody's going to look at you as less than because you have gaps in your business. In fact, I look at you a little sideways when you, just like you said, when everything is just butterflies and fairies. And
Yeah.
I know there's gaps. Like I'm
Right.
seeing them.
I can see them. Right.
Like I see the
Sometimes
gaps.
I'm like, girl, I see it. Like it's okay, but like I need to know that you see what I see, right?
Right.
Because
Come on.
that's part of it. And with that, if you are talking to somebody about your gaps and you feel like they are treating you some kind of way or like they looking at you sideways, then that's another indication that they're not a good collaboration partner for you.
They're
So
not.
it goes both ways because you have to be ready to be vulnerable. Again, we can go back to the relationships.
Mm-hmm.
My husband and I have been together now. We've been together for over 20 years. And we've
20
been,
years where?
but look,
How old are you? No,
we started when we was 5. No, but no, we've been together for over 20 years. My husband and I got together in 2002, right? We've been married now. This year is 18 years. We know all about each other's gaps. Okay, let me tell you. When I say get, and it's all at different stages of life, right? My husband has seen me in my most vulnerable positions, and I him. But at the end of the day, our relationship just becomes stronger and stronger because there are some days where I'm showing up 100%, and some days where he may be at a negative, and vice versa, right? But at the end of the day, as a true collaborator, it's about how can you match and support each other through the times that are most difficult and create that mutual value long term. Because I know at the end of the day, we are always going to be better together, right? That's how you got to be thinking
Absolutely.
about collaboration. So it's
Mm-hmm.
important
Absolutely.
to show those gaps.
I love it. Thank you so
Yeah,
much. And shout out to those of you in the Facebook group. I see some of y'all in the Facebook group and anybody, we are live, just so you know. And
we
so
are
I know some
live.
people, they see this beautiful layout. They're like, oh, this is just a
No,
recorded video.
it's
We're live.
not it's 9:56 Eastern Standard Time on Monday
Yes.
morning right now.
Right. And so we are about to wrap this on up, y'all. So hold on. Let me see. I'm going to throw in. I want to throw in one additional question,
Let's
and I think
go.
this one is a good one. Let me throw this one final. Let's throw this in real quick
Mm,
because this actually comes back to just even being honest with ourselves.
yes.
Because in these partnerships, guys, we've got to make sure that we're coming to the table with the right intentions. And so I love this.
Yeah.
How do you check your own intentions when entering a collab so you're not the one doing the using? Woo!
That part.
And
That part.
again, because sometimes we just don't know.
You have to assess. You have to assess. So
Absolutely.
for me,
Absolutely.
I really like to go through that goals, gifts, and gaps audit, right? Consistently. So this is something that I don't just do at the beginning of a collaboration, but every week I look at the people that I'm collaborating with and I say, okay, where are we at from the perspective of goals? What have I given as far as my gift this week. Every
Mhm.
single week. And people think it's like, oh, well, it just randomly happens. No, ma'am. No, sir. There's a reason that you get a text from me or an email from me every week that is not related to me taking something from you, because that's my own gut check. That's my systems that I have in place with my collaborators to say, did I give something this week? Right? And understanding that you have to have those things in place, just like a real relationship, because you get into the flow of things, you roll in, you get complacent. So you have to have the systems in place, checks and balances for yourself. What about
Yeah.
you, Taurea?
Well, honestly, I will say I hate to say to piggyback on your answer because I
No, but
really
yeah,
agree. I mean, that's the best way to do it. Just to making sure, and I don't do the goals, gifts, and gaps, so I'm gonna start doing that though because that's what Deanna has come up with. Is her This is that's her
that's right.
trademark.
That's
But
trademark.
I
It
will
is.
say yes, honey. Okay, but what I will tell you is that I do definitely make sure on a weekly basis I'm evaluating. I want to make
Yeah.
sure that anybody who is believing in me, because that's what a collaboration is, whether you're a client, whether you are a partner, whether you
Mhm.
are a referrer, okay? What can I do that can bring value to them? And again, it's not always saying, okay, if they help bring me $100 in sales,
Right.
then how can I give them back 100? No, it might be if they brought me $100 in sales. Oh my gosh, I've got someone that I want to connect you with. And
That's right.
Deanna, you do such a great job at making those intentional connections. Like you're not just, hey, connect with this person because y'all both got good synergy.
No, we don't looked at it. I was like, yeah, this could be a match, or it ain't a match.
And
I get it.
please don't connect me with someone who's just because they're just great energy and we have nothing in, like how am I'm like, I'm on the phone like, okay, well, you're so nice.
You're
Okay,
nice and I'm nice,
girlfriend.
and that's
We can be
cool.
girlfriends. But no, I do make sure that every single week I want to evaluate. And that doesn't
Mhm.
just go for just like partnerships like you and I, but again, like
Mhm.
even within Book Profits Club,
That's right.
and this is probably, I will say, one of my bigger challenges. But I do believe that when you take care of people who believe in you, you'll always be taken care
I
of.
agree.
I'm always over delivering in regards
Mhm.
to how can I show up and serve you better. And
Mhm.
what I have noticed, Deanna, is that in those good partnerships, right, without the red flags that I
Mhm.
ignored, those have been the ones to stand the test of time.
Yeah.
I have no doubt in my heart that you and I will not be connected. We'll be connected for a long. You're gonna see me get married. We're gonna speak that into
Look,
existence.
we no, we in it.
We
We
in
in it.
it. Like I'm
Right.
going
We
nowhere.
in it.
You
Yeah.
can't get rid of me if you tried, okay?
We
And
in it.
so
We in it.
I will say that, I definitely make sure I do those weekly evaluations. And it's not always just about the persons that we come together with, because we get caught up in just the technicalities of the words. Okay, we're collabing. No,
Right.
your clients are collaborators too. So,
Yeah,
how can you make sure that you're giving them
that
equal
part.
value as well? How can you make sure, and not just monetary, but just value for value? And so, I'm just really grateful for us
Mhm.
continuing to be able to have more deeper conversations on this
Yes.
because it is so needed. It is so needed.
Yes, and
Yes.
y'all have to stay close because Taria and I are always working on some things in the background. There's actually a new thing, Taria, that I forgot. I got to make sure I tell you about it.
Oh,
But we are always working on some things in the background. Keep an eye out because we chatted last week about something that might. I
ooh.
mean, I just
If you like a little sun, a little fun, and at the same time you want to speak,
you want to talk to the people. International,
yeah,
then you might want to stay close because we cooking up some good stuff.
we are over here cooking. Any final thoughts?
Listen, first of all, I am just sending you safe travels and blessings. Y'all, Taria Vision Avant is doing her first ever international workshop in in
Do
Dubai.
yeah.
In Dubai, y'all. So y'all show her some love for that inside of the chat.
Thank
And
you.
just to show you like where her heart is with collaboration, she's leaving today, right? Like she's like, listen, I got to do this first and that. So she didn't say, oh, well, I'm leaving today, so we're not going to do it. No, we show up, right? We do the thing. I am so excited for you and all of your amazing speakers and guests. Taria, I can't wait to hear about it. y'all make sure to show Taurea some extra special love and send her blessings and safe travels today.
Oh, thank you so much, Deanna. And listen, my final thoughts is, if you guys have not connected with us both, let me tell you about the Success Tribe. When we talk about quality, and what I love to a lot, and I always like to take time to even edify you as well, because we talk about the quality of people that we are positioning both within Book Profits Club and Success Tribe.
Yeah.
What I love most is that a lot of the people that we have, women and men, is that they are also connected to amazing tribes outside of the tribes.
Yeah.
And so, guys, just make sure, listen, if you've been saying, I've been looking for my group, I've been looking for a place to go where I can thrive and have healthy, productive conversations about where I'm going, not where we have been. Well, I don't want to keep talking about the days, the good old days. I want to talk about where we're going, right?
Exactly.
These are communities that you definitely want to make sure that you guys plug into. And yes, chat, I'm about to go run. Listen, as soon as we jump over here, I got to go run to pick up the books. We're giving away books. You know how we do. Every international event, we have a collaboration book. And so we're giving away a book to all of the registrants. And I'm going to go pick those up. They've been ready since Wednesday. Oh, praise God.
It's always the last minute. But look, you're going to have plenty of time on the plane. Just fall out and just praise God
and relax.
Get ready.
I don't need to rest at all today. So I'm excited. I can't wait to come back. And then I'll be seeing you next month in Durham, North Carolina.
Just a few weeks.
Right. Yeah, literally in a couple of weeks. Right. Yeah, we're less than a month. It's the 13th. So yeah, a couple of weeks we'll be in Durham, North Carolina for Ignite the Profits, where everyone, if you're watching this replay, no matter where you are, you will be able to watch this. Experience is going to be amazing. So
it's gonna be dope.
All right, darling. Well, what's your website? What's your website?
Yes. So go to thesuccesstribe.com and you'll be able to see all the things that we have going on thesuccesstribe.com. And you'll see everything that you need to see there for me. And I hope that we get the opportunity to see you in the Success Tribe, BC, but also make sure that y'all try to jump into Ignite to Profits too. It's going to be a really, really good time.
Well, thank you, darling. And yes, y'all, and let me shout out everybody who is watching live, because Shantae, Marsha, Sharid, oh Lord, I'm gonna say it wrong. Is it Charity, Keith, Timothy, Kim? We have a lot of people that are in the Facebook group watching, and so shout out to you guys. 10kbook.com. Guys, I'm showing you how to use your book, and I have a different link, but I can't remember it now. So 10k.com. It goes to the same place. If you want to know how to get on more stages this year in 2025, if you want to come with us, we've got an event coming up in Ghana at the end of the year. So we're doing that again. This will be a yearly event, Dubai and Ghana. And then we also have an event where we'll be making the announcement very soon, where if you want to be somewhere tropical, darling, okay? So go to 10kbook.com. Register for my free masterclass, where I'm going to talk to you about the mistakes that many speakers and authors make when it comes to leveraging their books and building multiple streams of income. So go ahead and register there. Other than that, y'all, it has been a privilege and a pleasure. Deanna and I will see you on June 2nd. Is it June 2nd, Deanna?
It's the next week in the 11th. Hold on.
No. The first Monday.
Oh, the first Monday. Look, I'm talking about Ignite the Profits. Yes, it's June 2nd. Look, I'm already in Durham.
She's ready to go.
We'll be back here on June 2nd.
Deanna about to tear that stage down. That's all I'm telling you guys. But yes, so June 2nd, we'll be live here at Let's Talk Collaboration. Talk to you all later. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.